Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to show you the best paying ad placeholders there are using Ezoic Big Data Analytics. So this video will be useful if you're thinking of limiting the number of ads that you place on your website, because it can help you find out which ads you need to keep and which ones you can take out but still maintain high revenue, only lose a small couple of percentages of income. It's also really interesting to see which one of your ads are the ones that are generating the lion's share of your income, and it's really surprising to see that one or two ads really do bring in almost the majority of the income. So before I get started, I should say that this video is part of my sponsored Ezoic series, where I dive into the Ezoic Big Data Analytics and show you how it works. So to get started, if you have Ezoic, you can follow along. If you don't, that's all right. You can just see what the results are. But those of you who do have Ezoic, you can go into Big Data Analytics, click on Yield on the left-hand side and Add Location, and it'll show you all of the data that we're looking at in this video. So for me, this is from one of my websites that's on Ezoic from the month of December. And you can see here, I've sorted it by revenue, and it'll have all the ad locations on the left-hand side, the number of impressions each ad got, and the amount of money each of the ad placeholders brought in. So just for that impressions, I didn't get 1,800 people coming to my website. I wish. That's the amount of impressions of the ads, remembering that there are more than one ad per load. So there might be 10 impressions. So, well, to give you a clearer example, I had 250,000 visitors to this website in December. So that's maybe 7-8 ads per load. And I'll go through each of these locations one by one and show you how much money was made from each. So the first one was the bottom floating ad, and it earned 17.35% of my income. You can see that one here. Here's a quick example. It's got the ad that's right at the bottom of the screen, and it stays there as you scroll down. That ad stays right there at the bottom of the screen. It earned a whopping 17.35%. And if I go back to the previous slide, you can see that was $409. So with one ad placeholder, I made $409. I could remove all of the other ad placeholders, have a really clean site, and still earn that 409 bucks. Now that would be really interesting, for example, for people who are Amazon affiliates. On my other Amazon affiliate site, the only Ezoic ad that I'm serving is that bottom ad. And on that Amazon affiliate site that I have, I'm still making about $170 per month in ads just from that one ad. And then the rest of the website feels clean and feels easy to read for my users, because I want them to be clicking over to Amazon associates. So it's kind of a bit of a best of both worlds scenario. The next one that got 14.57% of income was the Sidebar Floating Ad. So this one here on the right hand side, it sticks to the screen and scrolls down as you scroll down. If you don't have the Sidebar Floating Ad, I strongly recommend turning it on, because it earns almost 15% of all of my income. So those two floating ads combined, they're getting 1/3 of the revenue, well, the ad revenue for this site, which is incredible that I could turn off all other ads and still be making about 700 bucks a month just from 2 ads alone. It would really improve user experience, but I want to make money. So Ezoic says, you know, you can have more ads, you can only have 2. It's totally up to you. You get the control over it. For me, I want tons more ads because I want the money. So the next one was called Mid Content. It earned 5.57% of income, and I'm honestly a bit confused about what mid content means, because when I went to my Ezoic ad placeholder on Chrome, the ad tester plugin, I didn't have any ad places that were called mid content. I do have in content placeholders, and I was wondering if this was an aggregation of all the in content placeholders. If that's the case, all of those in content placeholders, which are the ones below the fold, only getting 5.57% of the income is pretty poor, to be honest. So I'm not sure, but if that's the case, it really does show that above the fold ads and floating ads are really the ones that get the lion's share of your revenue. Next one is under second paragraph. It earned 4.89% of income. I don't need to show you an example of that. It's quite clear. It's the ad that sits under the second paragraph, usually a little square one. One thing that I did find interesting about this was it made more money than my under the first paragraph, under page title, and at top of page ads. My assumption, although again, this is just an assumption, is that that's because by the time people have read the first 2 paragraphs, the ads have had time to load. So maybe people will scroll past those top ads while they're still loading, but by the time they get to this under second paragraph ad, it's loaded, so people might be more inclined to click on it. The next one was under page title. It earned just a little bit less than under second paragraph. Clearly, again, you know this ad, it's just that one that sits under the title before the first paragraph. Top of page, that's that big one that you often see at the top of the page, takes up a whole lot of the above the fold real estate. It earned me 4.67%. And to be honest, this is the one that I was surprised about how much it earned. I expected this one to earn a lot more. My only assumption for this is that it's because it doesn't load in time and people just scroll by it, but that's just an assumption. I had another one called long content that ranked number 7. It earned 4.24%. I'm not sure what long content means, but I know that it's probably one of the below the fold ones. And it's maybe even an amalgamation of below the fold ones. Again, I don't have any placeholders called long content, so that one's a little bit of a mystery to me. And then let's go to number 8, a bonus one. Under the first paragraph one earns 3.96%. So again, you can see in the top 8 of my placeholders, most of my placeholders that ranked in the top were ones that were above the fold placeholders. Really showing that above the fold is really the prime real estate. If you can get as many ads above the fold as possible, that's the best way to do it. So a few takeaways from this little tiny Ezoic big data analytics study that anyone can do if you're on Ezoic. First one is floating ads make the most money by far. 1/3 of my revenue is from just those 2 floating ads. So make sure you turn floating ads on to make sure that you're getting maximum revenue possible. Ads above the fold are the second most valuable ads. So again, if you want to strip away ads, don't strip away those ones above the fold. They're the ones that make you the good money. And then those lower down ads seem to be the ones that are getting the crumbs. Okay, one big takeaway I thought, a lot of people say to me when I say, look, I'm using Ezoic, people say, oh, there's just so many ads, it bothers me how many ads there are. Well, this does offer you a solution if you want less ads, or even if you're on, say, AdSense or something and you're placing your ad placeholders manually, or if you're manually placing them in your Ezoic. The solution is simply make sure you just place those ones that make the most money, and you can strip out those lower down ones that don't make as much money if you're worried about user experience. Or in Ezoic, you can just turn on the maximum ads per page plugin and cap it at 5 or 6, and then Ezoic's AI will essentially keep the ads that make the most money. So to do that, just click monetization, scroll down to maximum ads per page and turn on that little plugin, and then you can set it to a certain number of ads per page, set it to 5 or 6, and you'll be able to keep those 5 or 6 best paying ads, and then the ones that don't pay very well, those ones that just get the crumbs, they can be removed. Personally, I want to keep all of the ads, just let Ezoic do everything, because I want as much revenue as possible, and I care more about money in my pocket than whether or not someone's a little bit annoyed while they're reading my articles. Okay, so that brings us to the end of that. Hopefully it was useful to you to see which ads make the most money. Tell me if you were surprised by any of that data, or whether or not you think that that's pretty much makes sense. To me, the fact that they're floating sidebar ads, were the ones that made the most money, made the most sense to me. But yeah, it's really interesting that you could keep those 2 floating ads, especially on sort of an affiliate site that you don't want too many ads because you don't want to distract from people clicking to your affiliate links. Just keeping those 2 ads there, the bottom one, the sidebar one, it keeps the user experience pretty clean, but it'll also continue to bring you in, several $100s extra per month for absolutely no effort on your behalf. So it's definitely worth having a go at just including those floating ads in an affiliate site, in my opinion. All right, thanks guys, and I'll see you in the next video.